One day. One day a man was walking surrounded by a huge crowd of people. He has been here before. In fact, he has been here every day of his life. As he walks, he looks around and sees many faces that he recognizes, plus some new ones he's never seen before. They call out his name. They say hello. Some push him aside. It's busy. Suddenly the man feels pulled. He looks around to see who's pulling on him, but he can't find the person. He just feels this force pulling him away from the crowd. The crowd keeps moving. The man calls out. The faces of the people he recognizes the most turn to listen. They stop moving, while the rest of the crowd continues on. There is an eerie silence. Why are they staring at him like this? The man looks around and notices he is no longer surrounded by the crowd, but is standing alone outside of its movement. The crowd moves like a river with no beginning and no end in sight. It is so dense from where the man is now. He can see no definition in the crowd, only the faces that are now all staring at him. Some people in white uniforms break from the river of people and try to pull the man back, but the force is too strong. They talk amongst themselves and then try again to pull him back to the river. He does not budge. With every effort they make, he seems to drift further away. He screams out to the crowd. The man now turns to face the force that is pulling him. He sees nothing. He looks far into the distance, but can only see a bare horizon. He looks upward. Clouds have filled the sky. A ray of sunshine breaks through and rests on the man's chest. He moves to the side, and the ray follows him. Then it disappears. He turns back to the river. It is further away. He begins to feel alone. Then some faces from the crowd that the man recognizes leave the river and come to talk to him. He cannot understand what they are saying and wonders if they can understand what he is saying. As quickly as they have come to be with the man, they return to the crowd. The man tries to get them to stay, but they seem too busy. This happens many times. Soon, only a couple faces the man recognizes come to talk with him. He always tries to get them to stay longer, but they never do. Finally, he stops trying. Why don't they understand him? The man feels the force constantly tugging at him now. This time, when he takes a look, he can see what is at the end of the horizon. It is a cliff. There is nothing beyond the cliff but black darkness. He shifts back towards the river. It is so far away. No one is coming to be with the man anymore. They are just watching him from the distance. The man hangs his head in sorrow and suddenly notices 3 young children standing by his side, holding his hands. They run around him. They don't seem to be affected by the force pulling on the man. Have they been there the whole time? He smiles. The man realizes that he no longer can resist the force. It is too strong. He releases, and the force suddenly stops. Now it is up to the man to walk the rest of the way towards the cliff. He can feel he is now being tested more than ever before. He looks down to see the children. They are still by his side. He knows it will be okay. The ray of sunshine beams down again and rests directly on the man's heart. He looks upward, and for the first time he sees the sun. He feels his warmth and is comforted. The man knows he is now standing at the edge of the cliff. He looks back one more time towards the faces in the distance. They watch and see the man disappear over the edge of the cliff into the darkness. They hang their heads, or quickly turn back to the river, where they dissolve into its movement. The three children stand at the edge of the cliff where they held the man's hand. But they are looking upward as they watch the man soar into the heaven above. For only from their vantage point could they see the man didn't go over the cliff, but instead was lifted into the sky towards the sun. Before the man disappears into the clouds, he looks back one more time at the three children as they head back towards the river. But only now can he see that the river really has no beginning and no end. It moves in a continuous circle. He wonders if the faces are aware of this. He wonders if the children will remember what they saw. He turns back to the clouds. He is embraced by the light of heaven. And the sun puts his arms around the man. And the man feels the purest love of all and is allowed to rest. He has found a new beginning. Copyrighted and read by Eric Ferris.